Today we're going to be going over how to poison your enemies in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. So there are 3 different damage types in Metal Gear Solid 3. There is knockout, there is sleep, and then there is lethal. And obviously poison leads to lethal damage. Now as far as I know, there are 2 different ways to poison your enemies in this game. For 1, feed them a poisonous item, or 2, throw a venomous animal at them that will attack them. Like you can see right here, we're gathering venomous spiders and we're going to use these as weapons to throw at the enemies. So one thing you need to do before you feed the enemy poisonous food is you have to make them hungry, and lucky for you, I already made a tutorial on how to do that, so go watch that. Basically, you just have to blow up one of their food storage areas. Once the enemy soldier is hungry, they will eat any food you throw near them. Like right here, I threw a poisonous frog. As you saw right there, once the enemy soldier eats the poisonous food, the poison takes effect almost immediately. Now let's go over the controls on how to feed poisonous items to the enemy. For 1, make sure the food source is not asleep. If you're feeding them a poison animal, it cannot be asleep. You have to take the animal out lethally. And I'll explain a little bit more right here. If you use a tranquilizer gun on a food source, it'll fall asleep and you can capture it alive. And this will not work if you're trying to feed it to the enemy. But see, if we use a normal gun and take the animal out lethally, it'll turn into food right away, and this is what you can feed to enemies. Now once you have the food item, go to the main menu, go to backpack, and go to weapon, and then equip your food item. Now you're going to want to go into first person view and push and hold the shoot button to throw it far. If you just want to throw it a little tiny bit, then just push the shoot button. Now throwing venomous items at the enemy is a little different because you're going to want to make sure you capture the animal alive after putting it to sleep. Now you're going to want to aim as best as you can, line the enemy up right in the middle of your screen, push and hold the shoot button to throw the item at the enemy. And you'll know it's successful if you see those little purple dots right above their head. That means the poison took effect. And it is a little different because it takes a few seconds for the poison to actually work. As you can see, the venomous spider took the enemy out for me. Now, like I said earlier, it's not going to work if you throw a venomous animal at the enemy, but it's already food. If they eat a venomous animal, it's not going to work because poison and venomous are 2 different things. Now, this is the same type of venomous spider I threw at the other enemy, but now it's a food source. So if the enemy eats it, he will not be poisoned. Alright, before you saw me throw a venomous spider, now we're throwing a venomous snake. And snakes are pretty cool because if you throw them at the enemy, they'll actually attack them and grab their attention for a few seconds. See right here, they're like having a little standoff. All snakes in the game, venomous or not, are great for throwing at the enemy for distractions. Now that same exact venomous snake I threw at that one enemy, I'm going to throw at this other enemy, but this time it's a food source. And just remember, if it's food, the venomous animal will not poison the enemy if they eat it. So the venomous snake I used before is called a coral snake. Now I'm going to throw a milk snake at the enemy, and it is not venomous. But it still attacks him, they still have a little standoff, they still get his attention. But he is not poisoned because it did not bite him because it's not a venomous snake. Now, trying to throw items at the enemy can be a little difficult because there's no crosshairs, there's no real actual aiming mechanic. You just have to do your best and hope it works out. See right here, I'm going to throw a venomous spider at the enemy, but it didn't actually hit him. It landed right in front of him, so it's not going to bite him and he's not going to get poisoned. Now do be careful if you're trying to capture venomous animals. They can bite you and poison you.
Snake, have you been bitten by a venomous animal?
Yeah.
It looks like the poison is already starting to affect you. Unless you cure it, your life will just keep decreasing. You've got to treat it now.
Now capturing poisonous animals alive will not always work if you're throwing it at enemies to poison them. For example, the poison dart frog, it's not venomous and it is not aggressive. It won't actively attack the opponent. So if you throw a live poison dart frog at the enemy, it will not poison them, it won't bite them, it won't do anything. So the poison dart frog only works if it's a food source and they eat it. Now here's a little tip when it comes to enemy guard dogs. They will not eat any poisonous food you throw at them. They are just threw a poisonous frog, he just growls at it and runs away. And then a poisonous mushroom, same thing. He'll go up to it, sniff it. I guess they can just sniff out the poison. I don't know. I guess dogs can do that, I guess, right? Dogs are awesome. But if I throw some noodles on the ground or some regular food, they'll come over and eat it. And this is actually a very good tip to get them distracted if they are annoying you. Another tip when it comes to guard dogs, if you throw venomous animals at them, it will not work for some reason. I just threw a spider at him, it didn't bite him. And right here, a venomous snake, nothing. They don't get poisoned from venomous animals. Alright, now the last tip I have for you is using poisonous items against the fear boss fight. Once his stamina gets low enough, he'll get hungry and he'll look for food around the boss arena. Luckily for us, there's a lot of poisonous items on the ground in this area, but he won't go for those unless we purposely grab them and throw them on the ground for him to get. So grab a bunch of poisonous frogs, poisonous mushrooms, and throw them all over and he'll go around and eat them. Then this will continue to make his stamina go even lower, then we can use CQC to knock him out and win the boss fight. If you're ever curious which animals or food are poisonous or venomous, go ahead and hit up Paramedic on the radio. She'll tell you everything you need to know.
Wow, you caught a coral snake. The coral snake is a venomous snake that originally hails from the Americas. I see you've caught yourself an emperor scorpion. The emperor scorpion is said to be the largest scorpion in the world. Its venom is a potent neurotoxin, so take care that you don't get stung. I see you've caught a Thai cobra. The Thai cobra is a large venomous snake that carries an extremely potent neurotoxin. Be careful not to get bitten.
Alright, ladies and nerds, I believe that is everything on how to use poison in the game. Please let me know if I missed anything.